Alright, hi guys, Inside Game here, as always, and this is going to be the first video in a new series which I've chosen to call Hearthstone Meet the Decks. And the first deck we're going to be looking at is a deck I made myself, which I chose to call mech-zoo, which is basically a mech variant of the traditional popular zoo deck. And without further ado, let's get into the composition of the deck. So there's two of everything: two Soulfires, Abusive Sergeants, Clockwork Gnomes, Cogmasters, Flame Imps, Annoyatrons, Knife Jugglers, Mech Warpers, Micro Machines, Harvest Golems, Spider Tank, Tinker Tank Technicians, Defender of Argus, Pilot Shredders, and two Doom Guards. It is a very aggressive deck, and it's heavily weighted towards the early game, and it has a very steep curve falling down from the early game. So it can have some very powerful openers, and then you just have to find the value where you can and try to beat down your opponent as fast as possible. So going to be showing you a game here. So this deck is all about getting a very, very powerful opener and then keeping the tempo from there, and which is usually very easy to do due to the large amount of early game cards and mech synergy. And this deck is basically just a better version of Zoo and a better version of Mech Mage, which is very popular now. So it's really just the best of both worlds, where you get the mech synergy, a very powerful opener, yet you don't run out of cards. So let's see what we can do here. So as you can see, this is a very good opener. I get Cogmaster, which gains attack every time I summon a mech minion. This is a very, very powerful opener. You're not going to get this opener every game, but we got lucky. So we're going to put down the Annoyatron here, which is going to buff it, with 2 damage. And as you can see, this deck has already really gotten some speed. The Shaman is already playing from behind, has to do some very inefficient trades here, and the mech synergy just sort of keeps coming. Harvest Golem is also a mech, which is brilliant. It's also a very sturdy minion, and at this point in most of the games, you'll usually face your opponent with 2 choices, which is either pretty much give up or just play from behind, or have some sort of AoE. He didn't have Lightning Storm, and you can just sort of see how the game is going to be from here on. Pilot Shredder, another great card. It is very valuable. It's a 4/3, and you can get a random 2-cost minion. Very, very nice. You can also get all these mech minions very cheap with the mech reduction 2 mana cost card. So, the opponent will usually have 1 big minion, maybe 1 or 2, but that's just not enough to stop the mech-zoo deck. I just keep beating on his face, and at this point, the opponent becomes somewhat desperate, and you just need to use your cards. I also throw in Soulfire, which will throw away a card, but that doesn't matter. You have life tap, so you can always get the cards back. And you just find value. Just do good trades and just keep board control. And when you have the board control, then you go face. And now I'm just setting up for a perfect turn 6. And the Shaman is more or less helpless. This is obviously from a very good opener, but still, with this deck, you usually get good openers because, hey, the deck is mostly 1, 2, 3 mana cost minions. In fact, mostly 1 or 2 mana cost minions, and you can also always mulligan really good, or get the coin, or get a 1-drop on turn 1, and you'll win. So you can see I just get a very, very powerful board. Nothing the Shaman can do about it, and the game is mine. This game is a very standard mech-zoo game. You get a very powerful opener. You use the mech synergy to get ahead, and then you just close out with finding good trades and using your cards effectively, and using life tap so you'll never go out of cards. and now it's just up to me to finish the game. And just as easy as that. It's also a very fast deck, which means you can play a lot of games in a short period of time, thus giving you the opportunity to climb the ladder a lot faster than you would normally, do quests a lot faster than normally, and just learn the game. It's a very good basic deck to learn the game. You always need to choose, do you want to hit your opponent's face, or do you want to trade minions? You're always faced with a choice of, going face or trading minions, and you have to choose the right one. You have to play around AoE, you have to plan out your mana cost, you have to plan out your life taps, you have to plan out how you're going to use the mech synergy, the soulfire, the knife juggle synergy, how you're going to set up for Defender of Argus, when you should develop pilot shredders or harvest golems, when you need to use your doom guards and when you can keep them, and so on and so on. So this is just a game to illustrate how good the openers can get. This is actually just the second game I played during this recording, and I start with the Cogmaster once again, which is a very strong opener, maybe the strongest opener. And I have mech in my hand, and he uses Flame Imp. This is a traditional zoo deck, so this is mech-zoo against zoo. So my zoo deck against Reynard's deck, and I just use Mech Whopper, kill off the Flame Imp, and at this point you can see next turn I can play a Spider Tank, I can play Knife Juggler. I mean, I can do anything, and if I get a 1-drop, I get the perfect turn. And if you look what happens, there you go. There's the mech synergy. I put that on a Spider Tank and an Anoidtron, and I have a Mech Whopper. And, well, the zoo has no choice but to just rage quit the game and wish that my soul burns in hell. So that's the mech zoo.